Alright guys, welcome to my second save, all aboard the Genk bus, and this is going to be completely different to my Norwich save as I've gone for Genk in the Belgian Pro League. So I'll just really quickly bring up the league table for you just to have a look at what teams I'm going to be against. I'm predicted to finish, I think it's 3rd or 4th, so the teams which would be predicted to be finishing ahead of me would be like Standard Liège, Anderlecht, Club Bruges aren't too bad. So yeah, I mean, with Genk, although obviously the league is very important, the nice little attraction with them is that they are entered into the Champions League qualifying rounds. So if we are lucky, we will manage to play in the Champions League, which will probably just involve us getting thrashed really, but it should be pretty interesting to play some decent teams and see how we fare against them. So first of all, I'll just run through who we've managed to bring in. I only had a transfer budget, which I thought was a bit strange, of 40,000, considering I think that Genk are like the holders of the league, so I'd imagine them to have a bit of money, but they don't. So I brought in this keeper, Belgian, so he should like settle in quite quickly. I'm not even going to try and pronounce his second name, so it can be called Glenn for the purpose of this video. And yeah, he's got pretty reasonable stats. Not really sure if eccentricity is the best for a keeper, might make him a bit unpredictable. But yeah, can't really complain considering we got him on a free. The second player I brought in was Ahmed Sakuna, who's really more for the future. He's quite quick, 4-star potential. At the moment he's got like 2-star ability, I think it is, so he definitely won't be going straight into the first team, but he could be useful in the future. So a player I sold to kind of balance the books a little bit was Nadson, who is a decent player, but basically I'm not going to be using a defensive midfielder, so he can't slot in there, and I've got central defenders who are better than him anyway, so there's no real need to have him. So I thought, why not sell him while he's still worth his full value? So I whacked him on and sold him for 550,000, which I thought was pretty good. So that's all that I managed to do business wise. So I thought I'd just show you the squad as you might be a bit unfamiliar with the Genk side. Obviously got my signing, Glenn in goal. He's a pretty solid right back. I don't really know how to pronounce it either. Anil maybe. He's pretty solid considering his stats aren't the best. Mohamed Salah is a bit of a monster at the back with like monster heading, monster marking, good tackling, good strength, good balance. Grimmy is actually a pretty good offensive-minded fullback, even though he's not a wing-back. Buffel is a regular for the Belgian first team. He's pretty decent. Highland used to play for Portsmouth as a youngster. Toja, I think he'll be captain for us. He's not bad. I mean, he's got decent corners, so that is always useful when you've got a massive monster like Mohamed Salah getting on the end of him. Barda is a Israeli. He's not bad at all. And then up front we've got Vossen, who has actually got good stats, especially considering his age. So to have that finishing combined with that composure at the age of 22, apart from his pace, that's a very good combination. And then apart from that we've got Anthony van den Boer, who played for Portsmouth a couple of seasons ago. Poodle is a decent player. Who else do we have really? I don't think many of these will be featuring, but Kevin De Bruyne, who I'm sure you've heard of as he's joined Chelsea during the January transfer window in real life. He looks like he'll be very, very, very good in the future. I mean, his mental attributes are crazy, as well as just him having very good attacking stats really. And I suppose, yeah, I mean, he'll just be playing out on the left because the tactic that I'm going to be using is similar to the exact same as the Norwich one, except I'll alter around these like the jobs of each central midfielder. So he'll just slot in for Barda most likely, when he's fully fit, and then when because this striker, when you first start the game, he's already on his way to Mallorca in January. So when he leaves, that will probably mean that I will go and either put De Bruyne up front, or I'll move Barda up front and put in De Bruyne on the left side, which I think will be most likely really. So yeah, that's the squad. For fixtures during pre-season, we first of all drew, goalless draw against Bien, then won 2-1 at home to Aachen, won 2-1 away to, I presume that's a French side, but I'm not really sure. We beat our under-21s 4-0, which is encouraging considering if we'd lose to them, that'd be a bit ridiculous. Then we drew 0-0 to a team I've never heard of in my life. I have no idea who they are. Then won 2-0 against Lommel United, and then the most reputable friendly was a 1-0 loss at home to Liverpool. I just want to show you the Liverpool team because it's a bit strange, really. They had Sebastian Coates up front, which I haven't seen before. I mean, I've seen Samba go up front before for Blackburn because he's a bit of a monster. And if you didn't know, earlier in his career, Samba played as a lone striker for Hertha Berlin. And then they had like Henderson, Lever, Kaut, Carragher, Wilson, who even though he's like 20, he'd be like a leading star in our league. Then Agger, for some reason we're at the number 9. Don't really see why he's a talismanic striker, but there we are. And then Glenn Johnson and Rayner. So it wasn't really a particularly weakened Liverpool side apart from the strike force. But I can't really see how we deserved to lose the game. We had a tiny bit more possession, more shots on goal, more shots on target. So I suppose it's just a bit unlucky on the day, but it's definitely an encouraging sign that to put up a good match for Liverpool when they're not particularly weakened, that should stand us in good stead for the season. So that is basically the introduction video all tied up for you. The one thing I forgot to show you was next month we will have Standard Liège in the Super Cup, so obviously as that's like the Charity Shield, you can leave a prediction for that if you'd like to. So after that we have our first Champions League qualifier against Viktoria Plzen, I suppose. So we'll have that, then Beerschot in the league, then the second leg of the Champions League qualifiers will be the live commentary for the next video. So if you want to leave a prediction, first of all for the Super Cup, even though it'll be a bit late, but you'll find out next video whether you were right or not, and then leave a prediction for the live commentary against Viktoria Plzen in the Champions League. So I hope you like this video, and I hope you like the idea of the series. So yeah, even though it's a bit cheesy, all aboard the Genk bus.